This is one of those stories when I first saw it, I'm like, this doesn't make any sense at all. And then, of course, the longer you spend sort of delving into it, the more it begins to make sense. But where you think the new year would bring some pretty good things, apparently brings some pretty bad things. And those bad things are divorces, believe it or not. They spike at the beginning of a new year. So let's try to find out why. Joryn Jenkins is a family lawyer and author of a book called War or Peace: Avoid the Destruction of Divorce Court. She's on the line. Ms. Jenkins, is there a reason, an actual rational reason why this happens at the beginning of a new year?
Sure. I mean, there's always that New Year resolution thing. And then again, there's always the fact that the holidays are stressful. They're stressful for everyone. We may be on the brink of divorce and just waiting for the holidays to be over so that the kids have a good time. They may not realize what's coming, and you don't want them to realize it before they have to. But that New Year's resolution is the big deal. And it's not that divorces are filed in January. January is known as divorce month, but it's because that's when people finally make the resolution to go see a lawyer. Going to see a lawyer is terrifically scary. It's so hard. I know, I'm a lawyer. And so getting up the nerve to just take that final step and go find out what a divorce might look like for you is really hard to do. And so it's a resolution, and you make that promise to yourself and you do it, and then you're on the road. And divorces probably are filed more in March because people go to see the lawyers in January. It takes us a while to get the paperwork ready.
Well, so let me ask, maybe this is a bit of an odd question. Is there an advantage/disadvantage to doing this at the beginning of the year? What difference does it make?
Well, of course, my daughter got married on New Year's Day this year. And I tried to convince her to get married on New Year's Eve because then they would be able, this is the United States, they'd be able to file together and take advantage of the married filing jointly. There's a tax advantage there. And just in the same way, there's a tax advantage to staying. You've been married for 11 months and 15 days. Why not stay the extra 15 days to take advantage of that, that deduction?
Your book is called War or Peace. I keep saying "or" really loudly so people don't think it's the other book. But it actually, the subtitle, Avoid the Destruction of Divorce Court. You're a lawyer. What's the downside in going to divorce court? How different does that change from sitting down with just a lawyer trying to work this out?
So I've been practicing law for 40 years, and I've seen a lot of marriages taken apart in divorce court. And that's really what happens. Marriage is destroyed. Relationships are destroyed when you go to court. You're putting your whole life in front of a judge. You're saying bad things about each other that may or may not be absolutely true. If someone smoked marijuana during the marriage and it was okay while they were being married, but gosh, now we're getting divorced, I got to come up with all the bad things I can say about him. I'm going to say he smokes marijuana. And all of a sudden it's become a horrible thing. And by the way, anything you say in divorce court is open for the public to see, including your 16-year-old son. When he gets that car, he can drive down to the courthouse and open the court file and take a look at what you said about his dad. Uh-oh. So going to court, you're putting your life in front of a judge, someone who doesn't know you, may not share your values, doesn't know your children, and only sees a snapshot of your life and only sees whatever bad things you say about each other. That judge is not in a really good position to make a decision that is going to impact you and your kids for the rest of your lives.
I think back to when I got divorced many, many years ago, and we had only one lawyer between us. And at one point in discussing what was going to happen and how we're going to split things up, he actually looked at us and said, are you two getting divorced or getting married? Is it an advantage? Is it an advantage to use just the one lawyer? Can you actually do that and work things out as opposed to each side having a lawyer?
So you're not really using one lawyer at that point. The person may be trained as a lawyer, but that lawyer is acting as a mediator. So ultimately, you'll go to court by yourself to get that final judgment approved by the judge, but that's a 3-minute hearing. That's no big deal, and your mediator will tell you exactly what steps to do to get it done. But I truly believe that using mediation or using collaboration or using one of the other courtless processes to negotiate your divorce is a far better way to approach restructuring your family. That's what I like to do. I don't like to destroy families. I like to restructure them. That way, the impact on not just yourself and your spouse, but your kids and the grandparents and the teachers and the neighbors and the community. We take our divorces into our workplaces with us. We have pain in our lives, and we go to work and we don't tell people what's going on, and then we snap at people all around us and nobody knows why, and everybody gets nasty with each other, it's because one of us is getting divorced and we haven't explained that to anybody because we don't want to share that kind of information. Yeah. So it impacts everyone around us. We really need to learn to go the more caring, kinder, gentler route, not go to court.
Joryn Jenkins, the book is called War or Peace? Avoid the Destruction of Divorce Court. Thank you so much for your time this afternoon.
Thanks, Aaron.